Yeah.
Sometimes I believe like, yeah, we are trying to help them, but man, maybe they need to help us to understand this life.
Last time you joined me, I caught up with some old friends Nasser and Febby as we explored Lombok's untouched southern coastline. It was now time to head to the boys' hometown of Lakey Peak on the island of Sumbawa. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to Febby so he could get back to his studies.
I think we are the only one tourist. I'm a tourist.
While Bali and Lombok have millions of tourists visit them each year, Sumbawa attracts just a handful of surfers and divers from around the world. When arriving in Sumbawa, you can soon appreciate that you're a long way from home. The small town of Lakey Peak offers some of the best waves in the world. Around a dozen homestays and restaurants have sprung up since surfers discovered the area just a few decades ago. Febby's mum and stepdad own one of the most popular homestays in the area, and I was lucky enough to get a room there. For just $20 US a night, you receive a private air-conditioned room with an epic breakfast cooked by Febby's mum herself. If you've been with me since Australia, you might have noticed the stupid amount of boards have been lugging with me everywhere. After coming here in the past and seeing kids learning to surf on snap boards and pieces of wood, I decided to finally source a bunch of old boards from back home. It was finally time to pass them on to their new owners. The kids in Lakey Peak are pretty well looked after by the surfers who visit, so Nasser and I decided to look further afield for a rural town which might have good waves to learn to surf. After a quick scan on Google Maps, we thought we might have found just the spot. While my bike could carry 2 boards, Nasser's bike didn't have a rack, and we almost drove there like this until
Rakas
came to the rescue and offered to join us, carrying the board under his arm while Nasser drove.
Oh, look at the waves.
I was stunned by the town's perfect little sand bottom point break, yet here it was completely empty. Within minutes, we found a few local kids who were only too keen to learn to surf.
Good surf instructor, huh?
Yeah, not bad, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, it's okay, yeah. How you say enjoy?
Senang-senang, that's mean enjoy, have fun.
Selamat.
Selamat bersenang-senang.
Selamat bersenang-senang.
Cheers.
Makasih banyak.
Iya.
Maybe you can teach the girls to surf as well?
Tay sa dos si merong pasking. Yes. Ay na sampai keng. Ni kata tahu mana dek. NIP kadesi wali. Koni makan tak.
Yeah.
Ay nalanda ni.
I just got home and it was such a sick afternoon. It was such a good feeling to see the kids stoked, and on the way back was so rough though with the driving on the bike in the dark. Just all the bugs came out, and it's really hard to get a helmet with the bike over here because usually you're not going a very long distance, but in this case I really needed the helmet with the visor because it was just constantly getting pelted by bugs, because it was just after dark, and I had to wear the sunglasses because I was just otherwise getting them in the eyes the whole time, and it was just so hard to see with the sunglasses on driving for 40 minutes in the dark like this. But yeah, I made it back in one piece, so all good. What have we got here?
Fancy sour, selfless.
The following day, Nasser told me about a Spanish fella called Carlos who gave up his life as a successful lawyer in Europe to move to Sumbawa full-time and help the people living in poverty. He was teaching kids from a nearby village that afternoon, so we decided to drop by and say hi. I was humbled by how hungry so many of the kids seemed to be to do well and learn, a quality which I guess you could say can be hard to find in many Western schools. I remember kicking up a fuss about going to school myself some days, and here these kids were, grateful for the opportunity to go at all. Nasser is one of the few people in his region to have studied at university or even finished high school. He was able to talk to the kids in their local dialect and share his story of becoming an engineer. As we were leaving, I asked Carlos if he would be up for an interview in the morning. He was only too happy. In his 8 years here, Carlos has helped educate countless thousands of people, young and old. He has also raised money for people in need of operations. One of the most inspiring stories is that of Debbie, a young girl suffering from a large tumour. Carlos contacted specialist after specialist around the world. Every single one of them insisted the tumour was inoperable, and the only solution was to amputate Debbie's leg. Carlos refused, and finally, after many months of searching, finally found a surgeon willing to try and save her leg. However, the head oncologist refused to permit it. They decided to go ahead with the operation in secret. 9 hours of surgery later, the operation was a success. Today, Debbie is running around healthy and happy.
So many people say, man, you are crazy, you give up your life in Spain as a lawyer, very successful life, PricewaterhouseCoopers, good car, good house, everything easy for you. But at the end, I was not happy. I believe we are, as I tell you, we are in this life for something else, and man, the love and the karma that I'm getting from these people, the love that they show me every day, there's no salary in the world that can give you that, you know? Like we can see in our countries, we have everything, but we are not happy. Here they don't have nothing, but they are happy. They are always with a big smile in their face. So sometimes I believe like, yeah, we are trying to help them, but man, maybe they need to help us to understand this life. You know, so
That's incredible.
Yeah, sometimes I believe they are the ones that need to help us to understand why we are in this life, or you know.
This is just a snippet of what Carlos shared with me. I've uploaded the full story in a separate video if you'd like to check that out. Having not scored great waves on the trip so far, Nasser and I were starting to feel desperate. As luck would have it, things are about to change. I guess you're always going to win some and lose some when you're surfing. For Nasser and I, we definitely seem to lose more this session. My time in Indonesia was sadly coming to an end, but there was one afternoon left and Nasser offered to take me to where he grew up and introduce me to his family. Nasser's mum and dad have worked hard all their lives as farmers. Carlos told me that most families in Sumbawa can't earn more than $20 a week combined. University is not free. You can imagine how hard Nasser's family must have worked to send him to study.
Sarang, bertemu. Halo. Is your little cousin?
Take the seed. So we can plant again tomorrow. Plant corn and peanuts. Get the chair. My family was work really hard to send me to university because my parents only work at the farming, and then at the farm is not much money we can get, but I know some other kids not even go to school. No money to buy books, no money for buy uniform, school uniform. For me, in my heart, I'm so thanks to God, thanks to my parents that send me to go to school, push me to go to school. Yeah.
I asked Nasser's mum how she felt about him finishing university.
Bangga.
Yes, he said proud. From the big family, I'm thinking I'm the only one who going to school who finished studies. For the next couple years, I'm sure they cannot work hard anymore at the farm. Thinking to myself, oh yeah, maybe it can be their hope. My mom gave me responsibility to take care my younger sister and my youngest brother.
It was pretty humbling to see my friend, the same age as me, already carrying such a big responsibility. Not having to stay home and provide for my family is something that I've always taken for granted until now. I have the utmost respect for Nasser and his family.
Ya, bangga saya.
It was time to say goodbye to Sumbawa and Indonesia on the whole. On the way to the airport, I was joined by an exceptionally friendly lady named
Ratna.
who I've now learned from multiple sources has the best fruit salad stand on the island.
Yeah, just next time you come, you see me there. Yeah, just now I'm go to Jakarta.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Visit family or?
Yeah, I have family in Jakarta.
Yep.
I can come in soon for 1 week.
Ah, nice. Enjoy, yeah?
Enjoy, thank you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Baby, nasa po rin. Dadah.
Thanks so much for watching. Smash that subscribe and like button if you enjoyed the video. Join me next time as I arrive in Europe and set off sailing without having a real clue on what I'm doing. Cheers.